Today's the day. It's currently 9:30, and in 15 minutes, we'll get a statement from the EFL to see whether or not Bury FC have been saved. Last night, we got the confirmation that a bid had been put in by a London-based football analytics company, and it's now a matter of time whether or not we find out if the EFL have extended the withdrawal time for Bury FC. Should they have done, it's said that there'll be about a 48-hour extension, which is thought would give them the weekend, although some have suggested that 48 hours should start on Monday. We'll find out in due course. But I'm heading down to Gig Lane either way today, and it'll be really interesting to get the view of fans to see, what the atmosphere is around the place. I mean, I'm still really, really hoping that Bury is saved, and it is looking more and more likely like that is the case. And fingers crossed there's a solution, and hopefully it'll be really quite a positive atmosphere around there today, because if this does happen, it's a new lease of life for Bury.
First of all, I mean, what have you made of the ongoing situation here?
It's been really tough for the last few weeks. I've honestly not, been wondering what's going on. It's just been crazy. Right to the last minute, we've still not got EFL confirming what's happened, but, hopefully it's all good news now.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, what does Bury mean to you and your lad here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been coming here about 20, 25 years. First of all, my dad brought me, and now obviously brought my son here, William. He's starting to get into football, so this is key years for him when he gets interested in it. It's a big family club, big community. We came to the last game of the season, didn't we, and celebrated, but even back then we didn't know what was going to happen. Even though we got promoted, we didn't know.
Collected the balloons.
Yeah, we collected balloons, didn't we? We just didn't know what was going to be the future for Bury. Obviously all throughout the summer it's just been nervous, right? Really.
Yeah, I mean, what's your expectation from today now?
Hopefully today we can just get the EFL saying, yeah, we've got this bid come in. And they're going to look over it the next few days, and they're going to check that these buyers are legitimate. They're going to put in, paying off maybe the debts or whatever. It's not going to be easy, we know that. But if they can say, yeah, let's go, give them the go ahead, then we can start kicking off the season for us. And maybe it's going to be too short notice for next.
Hi Dave, thanks for speaking to me. I mean, first of all, what's your expectation today?
Well, we're offering a lot of people coming down. Well, the big thing we're waiting for is this statement from the EFL. At least we got a bit of a green light last night. Now we need to know the detail. How long are they giving us to get this deal through? Are they expecting us to play next week? Is the transfer embargo listed? We're hoping we can get all that information today in their statement. Because it is a step at a time, and that's the next step. We need that. Then we know what we've got to target to where we first start playing, and the embargo's listed, we can start putting a team together. There's no substructure in the club at the minute, no staff, so the new owners need to hit the ground with that. But as a fans group, we can rally support and get people in. There's been no work over the summer, but we'll get fans in to wash all the seats, get everything clean and sparkling inside the stadium. And whatever else they want us to do, we're here to work with them, whoever comes in. We want to change the ethos of this club. We want to turn it into a proper community club. We've had various chairmen who've come in and played lip service to that. It's never actually happened. Now we've got a clean sheet now to start the club again, start it on a really sound footing and build up a community club, and that's what we want to do.
And what's Forever Bury's role been in the last few days?
It's not the last few days, it's been 4 months. There's been 6 of us working on it. We've enrolled the help of the local MPs and the local council, been very supportive, as have the chairman of Accrington and Morecambe. The football families come together. There's a lot of fans trusts that have got in touch wishing as well. Others are helping and raising money and awareness. There is a clubbing crisis WhatsApp that we're part of. Bury, Blackpool, Bolton, Coventry, and lots more joining, I think. And we want to change the way football is governed. It's failed. The EFL has failed, and it needs to change. It needs to address what's needed within the entire league structure and look at a new form of governance and something that suits everybody. And if that's an independent body that does the checks on potential owners, if it's a licensing system for potential owners, if it's that same body that can act as an ombudsman for the fans, that's what we want. We need somebody that we can talk to.
So Forever Berry's role continues for pressing for change within the EFL after today?
That is a long-term battle. It's always been something that we've wanted, and it's not just us. When we talk to fans that visit our ground, it's we just say we're in it together. It is that family feeling right across the league with clubs, and fans are united in this. They want change.
It's now been confirmed here at Gig Lane that there has been an extension to allow a potential change of ownership at the club, and that extension is till Tuesday at 5 p.m. This is really promising stuff now. This is the best hope for Bury Football Club, and hopefully something can get over the line over this bank holiday weekend. And
What news?
the deadline.
What's the latest?
The deadline till.
A couple of days, yeah. I'm glad it's up.
Yeah.
Just give a bit more time to cross the line, but it's not there yet.
Are you feeling confident?
Certainly more than I was 24 hours ago. Yeah. If it comes off, it's absolutely brilliant news. But being a Bury fan, you've still got to be careful. Let's go wait and see. And until it's over the line, it's not over the line. It's just a case of we're a step further, and hopefully we'll get there in the end.
So let's say things are okay. This sale goes through. What next for Bury?
Premiership. We believe. I think we've got to learn to live within our means, and as long as we've got a club here, that's the main thing. And realise the mistakes we've made in the past, and hopefully correct them, and still have a club for a long time to go.
So is the emphasis now? I was chatting to the head of the trust before. The emphasis for him is building a community club. Is that something you want to see?
Yeah, well, that's always been the case, but it's never happened. And hopefully this time we'll learn from the last two people that have been in charge and get there, because they promised it, but they just alienated everybody from the goings on, certainly with Dale. Stuart Day was probably a little bit in between, but more and more coming out about the guy, it's just not to be trusted.
So really now there's a little bit of hope for you.
Yeah, I mean, people that come down, we talked about community. I go back to my grandfather who started just the turn of the century. That's 1900. Then my dad, me, my son, and brought my granddaughter out for the first time last night. So that's fifth generation, and I'm not the only one. There's loads and loads of people that are exactly the same. And that's what it needs to build.
Exactly what we wanted, but things are now moving. Our illustrious chairman, I know you all love him. That's not what he says. Anyway, he's agreed to sell. Don't shout too loud. There's a bid on the table. At the minute, the deal isn't done. So we're waiting for that. We're waiting for the deal to go through, and I think that's all the EFL are waiting for as well. Just get that deal through. Until he's out of the picture, there's that element of doubt. So, Mr. Dale, sign that form, please.
But what I must stress to you is that it's not over the line. There's still lots of work to do, but what we need to start, the first thing that we need to do is we've got sign-up forms here, and I said this to you all last night, the club is in a real mess. There's hardly any staff now, and what we need is, it's simple things. We need you to write your name down, what skills you can bring to the club, even if it's just cleaning or just doing anything, even if it's just donating time to do a turnstile or anything. The one thing that's been told to me is every seat needs cleaning in that stadium because they've not been touched for months. So we just need everybody Tuesday here helping, whether you can paint, electrician, cleaning, anything. You need to get down because I'm hoping, and I'm touching wood, there's a bloody match on Saturday, so we need you.
How did you get involved with Bury in the first place?
So my dad first took me to a game when I was 3. That was it really. I've been a fan ever since. It's such an important part of our community and such an important part of our town that I've never known anything different.
And you sort of almost become a point for change, I guess, with a lot of online movements. You've started a petition, you found yourselves sort of representing fan views almost on national news. How did that come about?
I wouldn't quite go that far. I'm just doing what I can, as I'm sure an awful lot of Bury fans have done. It's just that in situations like this, and how much this club means to me and means to our community, you've got to step up and you've got to try and do what you can. I'm very, very grateful for the support, the kind of things that everyone here at this club has been doing, and I hope that under new ownership we can continue to build a really good, strong community club.
And on the matter of new ownership, we've also had the news this morning that the EFL has postponed the deadline for withdrawal of EFL membership until 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We're hearing now that that the potential new owners are a little bit unhappy with this deadline and they'd like it a bit longer. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm quite nervous to tell you the truth because situations like this, a day is a working day. A working day of due diligence is not enough. Deals like this take many, many weeks to complete. Obviously, we don't have the luxury of those kind of timescales, but it would be very, very useful for the FL to give them an extra couple of days. It doesn't matter when they postpone this game, because if we go under, there's no game anyway. So I can't quite understand the logic behind it.
And going forward, there's been calls for great reforms within the EFL and within how they sort of manage and regulate the sport itself and the ownership. What would you like to see change?
There needs to be a fundamental rethink in 2 aspects of the EFL. Firstly, the way that the football funding formula has worked out. It is absolutely absurd that Bury Football Club in League 2 last year received as their yearly solidarity payment 1 week of Alexis Sanchez's wages. That cannot continue, it's not sustainable. The second thing is that the EFL or another organisation needs the power to act as an independent regulator. Football is not a normal business. Football, as you can see from the scenes behind me and what we've seen in recent weeks, means so much more than that of a typical limited company. So there needs to be a regulator that can step in, there needs to be a regulator that has the power to take over failing clubs and be able to ensure that the ownership is fit and proper and these kind of institutions can exist for another 134 years.
And let's move forward to Tuesday. Let's go with the idea that this goes through, there's a change of ownership, the club's allowed to stay in the EFL. What do you think happens then? Where do you think the club goes and what do you think happens on the pitch?
To be honest, whatever happens on the pitch is beyond my wildest dreams. There's been points over the last few weeks that I too did not think we'd have a football club. Even at 5 p.m. last night, that EFL statement, I did not think we'd have a football club. I did not think I would be standing here tomorrow with Bury Football Club still being a league football club. So what I would hope and the message I would give to the people of Bury is that we've come so close to losing this football club. Our town needs to get behind these players. It doesn't matter who it is on the football pitch. It's about this community, it's about these people here, it's about getting out and ensuring that this institution has the support and backing it needs to be still here for the months and years to come.
So how did you first get involved with Bury?
I was taken to my first game on the 27th of August 1988. We played Wolverhampton Wanderers, first game of the season. It was an 11 o'clock kick-off because the police were concerned about crowd trouble. Bury won 3-1 and there was no going back after that.
And what have you made of the news today that you've got a deadline extension on this?
On the exact same date.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
The 31st anniversary of my support of Bury Football Club. I think it's to be welcomed. I think the EFL have realised that we have got somebody in place who could do some good for the club, and that now we really do need to push it through. Whether we have the time is a concerning issue, but I don't believe the EFL actively want to throw Bury out of the league, and I think they will work with us to make sure that this bid, if everything is above board, goes over the line.
So what do you think needs to change within the sort of structures of the Football League now?
I think the EFL needs to be a lot more stringent in their implementation of the fit and proper person test. I think Bury Football Club have now had 2 previous owners who have not been the kind of person that the EFL might want to be running a club. I think certainly the fans, when we look at the past 6 years, didn't want people like that running the club. But here we are, and I hope Bury Football Club can just push on now, push on forward.
And going forward now, how do you want Bury Football Club to look, and what do you think will happen?
I want Bury Football Club to be a sustainable club. I want Bury Football Club to be a beacon in the community that people from Bury can be proud of. I don't think that's been the case over the last 6 years, and I would like my club to be a lot more, as I say, sustainable, and also I want to be proud of the club, and there are times where I haven't been proud of the club, and I think I want it to be a real community asset.
So the key views, not necessarily on the field.
I couldn't care less what happens on the field, to be honest. I don't want Bury to chase an unsustainable dream of Championship football. I just want to be able to come down here to watch a game, and I want people who are my age, who are younger than me, who've got children, I want their children to be able to come down here and watch a game, and I want their children to come down and watch a game as well.
And has this really brought into context just how much Bury means to you?
I think so, yeah. I think there were times over the past 6 years since Stuart Day took over, when my support has not so much wavered, but my feelings about the club have not been as strong as they once were. And yeah, I think when you're threatened with expulsion from the Football League, now is the time to think, this entity really means something to me, and I want to preserve it for future generations.
And it's coming up to 4 o'clock here at Gig Lane, and the crowds are starting to clear now. And there's been a real feel of optimism about the place. Things aren't where they'd like them to be. They'd hoped that they'd have an extra day until Wednesday instead of Tuesday with the EFL to get this takeover done. But people think that something can be done, and they think that they're getting their football club back, and it's great to see. Forever Bury made a great speech, and they're asking people to come and volunteer to help set up the club for the new season, because it looks like they're going to get games going soon. They're asking people to come in and do electrical work, paint the seats, clean the seats, all this sort of thing that we take for granted really at football clubs. And it's been a stark reminder today. I'm a fan of Oldham, and we've got our own problems, that these football clubs are a real asset to the community, and we've got to look after them better than we are doing. But there's hope for Bury still, and we look to Tuesday at 5 o'clock now.